What is the use of force continuum? Have you ever wondered how police officers decide how much force to use in a tense situation? The use of force continuum is a framework that guides law enforcement in these critical moments. It helps officers determine the appropriate level of physical response during confrontations. This continuum ranges from minimal presence to the use of deadly force, allowing officers to escalate or de-escalate based on a subject's actions. The continuum typically begins with verbal commands. This means officers use their presence and calm instructions to manage a situation. If that does not work, they may move to physical restraint, which involves hands-on control or takedowns. Next, officers can use non-lethal tools like pepper spray or tasers. Finally, in extreme cases, they may resort to deadly force, such as firearms. Officers are trained to skip steps if a situation escalates quickly. For example, if a suspect suddenly draws a weapon, an officer may need to react immediately without going through every level of the continuum. In crime films, we often see dramatized moments where officers bypass lower levels of the continuum. Think about those intense standoffs or arrest scenes where officers draw their weapons right away. These portrayals can blur the lines of real-world protocols for the sake of cinematic tension. For instance, a film might show an officer using a taser on a non-compliant suspect, then cut to a courtroom scene where the officer's actions are scrutinized. Movies that focus on police brutality often highlight deviations from the continuum. Viewers might see internal affairs investigators replaying footage to analyze whether an officer's response matched the threat level. Training montages in these films sometimes include drills based on the continuum, showcasing the precision required to justify each action legally. While real-world policies stress the importance of de-escalation and proportionality, crime films often prioritize conflict-driven storytelling. A chase scene might show an officer tackling a suspect instead of using verbal commands. This simplifies complex judgment calls for pacing. However, some procedurally accurate films consult law enforcement advisors, showing characters referencing continuum protocols during debriefings or trials. Key terms related to this topic include de-escalation, which refers to strategies to reduce tension without physical force. Proportionality is another important principle that states the force used must match the severity of the threat. Reasonable perception is the legal standard that justifies an officer's actions based on their immediate viewpoint. The use of force continuum is essential for understanding the actions of law enforcement. It provides a framework for conflicts between officers, suspects, and oversight bodies. This framework drives plot lines around moral dilemmas, such as a rookie officer questioning orders or a veteran facing consequences for violating protocol. By grounding these stories in real policy, films can add a layer of authenticity to their narratives. Ultimately, the use of force continuum ensures that law enforcement actions are legally defensible and appropriate for the situation. Crime movies amplify the stakes by focusing on high-risk scenarios where split-second decisions can have lasting consequences. This blend of factual protocols with dramatic tension keeps audiences engaged and invested in the story.